Hi, everybody. Welcome to The Batter, a podcast about how brands, business owners, and entrepreneurs rise. I'm your host, Jill Miller of Vera Creative, a small marketing firm in the Chicagoland area, where I'm also a part-time instructor of an advertising course at St. Xavier University. Join me as I hang out and talk to people who know all about the ingredients to success and the recipes for disaster. Hey everybody, we are here today with Allison Short of CrossFit Chippewa Falls. Allison, thanks for chatting with me tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So we go back to grammar school, our relationship. We've been friends for a really long time. So listeners should know that, just for a frame of reference. And I've been doing your marketing for how long now? I don't even know.
Oh my gosh.
I want to say since like 2014, maybe.
I was going to say maybe earlier, like maybe 9 years. Well,
yeah, I don't know. I don't even remember. We'll chalk it up to a real long time.
The gym is almost 7 years old. It'll be 7 years old this summer. And then you started before I was at the gym, really. It was helping me at the Y.
Cool. Well, let's dive into that. Tell our listeners a little bit about your background and how you got to where you are today.
Okay. Well, I don't even know where to start. I grew up in sports. I was a gymnast with you and played soccer and dabbled in a lot of different other stuff. I ended up going to college to play soccer, played soccer in college, graduated from college. When I was in college, I got a job I have a business degree. When I was in college, I was just working at a soccer store, like a soccer retail store, and the owner wanted to open up another store, like a few hours away. So kind of the plan was for me to take over the current store, and then he was going to start another store. And then, well, the business, it didn't go great. I was kind of managing it along with him, and like hardships of small business owners. He worked a lot, didn't get paid a lot. I worked a lot, didn't get paid a lot. And an opportunity at the YMCA came up. I was taking a Zumba class, and the lady teaching the Zumba class, like, I did it for a free massage. Otherwise, in a million years, you never would have saw me in a Zumba class because I was super introverted and very shy and very to myself when I would go to the Y. I'd have my blinders on.
But an amazing dancer. Okay, you might have been shy and introverted, but guarantee you're the best dancer in the room.
Well, apparently, because the teacher turned around and it was like, why aren't you teaching this class? And my face, like, good thing it was dark in there because I turned like tomato red. I could just feel my face getting hot. And I was like, oh, my gosh, she's talking about me. And I was like looking down at my shirt. She's like, you in the green shirt. And I like looked down. I'm like, oh, no, I have a green shirt on. And I was like, me? And everybody turns. There's like 20 people in the class. Everybody turns and looks. And I was like, oh, gosh. And I was like, I don't know. And then it was kind of the end. Then we went on to the next song. And then the next day she like found me out in the Nautilus room. I was like on the bike or something. And she was like, yeah, I talked to my boss. If you want a job, you should go talk to her. I was like, oh, gosh. She's like, you get a free membership. And I was like, holy cow, yay, free membership, you know? And then I was getting my hours cut at the soccer store, so I just decided, hey, why not? I get a free membership. I get to, like, exercise and get paid for it. Sure. Went and talked to my then boss, and he was like, all right, in 3 weeks you have a hip-hop class. And I was like, oh, my gosh, I've never taught a class before, didn't know how to do choreography, nothing. So worked my butt off for 3 weeks trying to figure out how to resemble or fake it, I guess, like know what I was doing. Started teaching that class, like a hip-hop class. It was similar to Zumba, just different music. And then ended up getting, like, my Zumba certification, teaching that. And then I asked my boss if I could start, like, a 10 a.m. strength class. She's like, oh, gosh, we never have anybody show up to a 10 a.m. Started with, like, a couple days a week, and I ended up teaching 5 days a week. at 10 a.m. because people came. And then that same lady that got me into Zumba was like, you should be a personal trainer. You make $20 an hour. And I was like, heck yeah, $20 an hour. Way more than I make now, actually.
Yeah, isn't that funny? I had more money when I was like bartending in college than I ever will have these days. Yeah.
So I was like, sweet, yeah. So I studied, I took a certification, got my NITA certification, and then like, I don't know, she gave me my first client. It was a girl with cerebral palsy, and I mean the rest is history. I think the Y had like 5,000 members, and there was like 2 members in the entire Y that had a trainer. And so I started really small, and then just kept picking up more and more clients, and then started group training, and then had to start like turning away clients, and had to start cutting my Zumba classes and cutting my hip hop classes and cutting all my strength classes because I was doing training basically full time. And then my brother-in-law in 2013 opened up CrossFit Chippewa Falls. And I like took a class and was hooked, and then got like super into the methodology of CrossFit and into the community of CrossFit, and I just loved every second about it. And then so I got my CrossFit level 1, and my goal was to just help him out because he was coaching all the classes and doing everything as the owner, and just really stressed out. So I was hoping I could help him out and teach some classes and work at the Y. But then when I told the Y, they said it was a conflict of interest, and that basically I couldn't work at both places. So I chose to work for my brother-in-law, worked for him for like a year and a half, and then I just offered to buy him out, and I did. So I don't know.
It's simple as that. You just buy them out.
In March of 2015. I mean, officially, that's when the loan, everything changed hands. But he opened it in August of 2013, and then I kind of just solely took it over in in January of 2015. But it was official in March, the sale and everything.
What do you have, about 50 members, or was it 100 members at that time when you first got your hands on it?
I want to say it was in the 40s. Some of my clients in the Y, not a lot of them, I don't know, but some of them, I would say probably at least half of them came down there with me. So probably close to half of them were my clients or people that I knew from the Y. So how many in the 40s?
Okay, so around March, between January and March of 2015, you had about 40 members. And what are you at right now?
Oh gosh, well, right now it doesn't really count, but as of this morning, 245. But
245, yeah, that's what so tell me about what CrossFit Chippewa Falls, how did it morph? Because I know when your brother-in-law owned it, it was pretty much just adult classes, but now you guys have a lot more offerings. So tell me about how it's kind of morphed. I know, right? You just tell everybody.
Well, we started with a website because we didn't have one, so you created that, or you and your students did. And we did a website, and then we started a summer program for middle schoolers. Mostly it was middle schoolers, and then we put in a CrossFit Kids program. That was elementary school students. And then we ended up getting a contract with the high school to do their summer strength and conditioning program. And we've been doing that now. You probably know more than I do. Becky and I were just talking about it.
I don't remember. Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
It was the summer of, was it the first summer, 2015?
It might have been. I'd have to look at it. I had all the other contracts.
This is either our fifth summer doing it or sixth summer doing it. So we contracted with the high school. First it was just in the summer, and now it's year-round.
So that grew, and then there's one more. Well, then you also have the senior class, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And we just started that. So for
yeah, and so for those listening who don't know, the senior class is a free class that meets every Tuesday, and it's for senior citizens. So wow, so you literally go from 40 members in one type of class offering to, in about 5 years, 245 members. And you're like a full-blown, legitimate operating business. You have a website. I always assume that, like, if you don't have a website, you're not legit. in my marketing mind, like, that's the first place I go to check out a business. So website, big deal, And I feel like because I'm on the receiving end of a lot of the messages, more than any other client, I believe that people reach out through your website a lot, like more than other clients' websites that I do marketing for. I feel like the website really, truly often is the first point of contact. They probably see half of the city of Chippewa Falls or town of Chippewa Falls wearing CrossFit Chippewa Falls t-shirts because you can't go anywhere.
Stuff is awesome.
Somebody, yeah, you can't go anywhere, and I mean your brand awareness is at an all-time high, I would say, and your brand visibility. But anyways, I think that and what I'm trying to say is for you, I think the website is crucial because gyms can be intimidating maybe, and people often don't want to just walk in and ask questions. They feel a little bit more comfortable with that kind of internet barrier between them. I don't know if you would agree with that, but.
Well, and I think that if I get phone calls, they're probably a lot of times they'll just make comments like, oh, I couldn't find that on your website, or I didn't see that on your website or whatever. I'm like,
yeah, we do get a lot of that.
It's on there.
I know it. Yeah, I know. Well, and we've updated your website, I think I think you haven't gone more than 2 years with the same website. And you also have moved the business a lot. So you guys have moved the business how many times? Like 3 total, 2 total?
Well, 2 total. We've been in 3 different locations.
Yeah, so you've been in 3 different locations. Talk to me about what you learned each time you moved.
Well, I guess it's Goldilocks. We were in like 1,100, like 1,200 square feet, and we were just jam-packed. But it was great because our overhead and our rent was super low. Everything was really low, so we were able to save a ton of money. And then we moved into an 8,000 square foot facility for 2 years, or a little over 2 years, which I think was probably a little bit too big. We were renting, and then an opportunity came up to buy a building and renovate. So we did that, and now we're at about 6,000 square feet. So I think we found our perfect size. Size-wise, I guess that's what I've learned. What I learned, but you kind of, I guess, figure it was nice to rent in 2 places to kind of learn what we liked and what we didn't like, and what worked well and what didn't work well, to be able to then buy and renovate smartly and efficiently, like cost efficiently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. So your town, let's see, the town that you exist in is fairly small. There's like 13,000 people in Chippewa Falls?
Yeah, 13, 14, right? 15, I think. I can't remember. The sign says 12.
I remember it saying 12 something when I was in high school, but I'm pretty sure that it's up to at least 13. Maybe you're right, 14 now. And then Eau Claire, Wisconsin is the bigger like town or city, and they've got what, like maybe 50,000?
50 or 60, maybe.
I want to say. Yeah.
I can picture the signs and where they are, but I don't remember.
Isn't that funny? So you're in a small town, and you're relatively surrounded by other small towns, and there are, I know, at least 3 other boxes or CrossFit gyms, but then in addition to that, you've got your franchises like your Anytime Fitness or 24-hour gyms. You've got your YMCA's. You've got a lot of saturation, I think, for the amount of people, the amount of prospects. So talk to me a little bit about how you think you have been able to be really successful and gain a lot of the market share and kind of stand out among, all the other gyms. Like, why do you think it is that people are choosing you?
I think it's our community. I mean, bottom line, I think...
You sound like you're guessing.
I think it's the community. It's just hard to explain to somebody who's never stepped foot in a CrossFit gym, I guess. Like, our members are just so close and so loving and have such big hearts, and I think they attract other people that are loving and have big hearts, and I like to think that I'm loving and have a big heart. So, and I attract that type of people. And it's just a very like-minded group of people. If you come in and you're not like-minded, if you come in and you're negative, or you don't want to work hard, or you don't want to better yourself, you don't last. You have support if you do want to work hard, and if you do want to better your life, and you want to bring yourself up. And that's different.
I feel like there has to be something deeper, because you could go to the gym and be like, well, I have something in common with all these people. We're all here because obviously we want to work out, or there's some piece of us that values health. And so that's why they're there. So I feel like, I agree. You're definitely a strong community, and you're definitely like-minded. But I feel like it's got to go deeper than that.
I feel like I know exactly what you want me to say, but these are the things that you usually answer for me.
Yeah. So for our listeners, this is a hard conversation because, like, truly my role in CrossFit Chippewa Falls is a little bit PR. Allison and I've been on podcasts where really they were meant to interview Allison, but I guess I open my big mouth and take the reins. But no, I'm not trying to steer you towards any one answer, actually. Don't feel like you have to say what I want you to say. I just, I don't even know that I can put my finger on it after all these years, but there's just something. And I feel like this happens to a lot of brands that take off. It's like, what is that thing that people, and the reason and the why, as to why people gravitate towards it and make it successful, when something very similar could be down the street or in one town over or one click away, one click underneath the next online, but people just tend to gravitate towards that thing. Do you see what I'm getting at? Like, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I think it runs deeper.
I think it
has to do with
Lexi. I think it's me. I think it's Lexi. I think it's Derek. I think that I think, and this is me, like, my faith in God. Like, I think that I was put on this planet to do what I'm doing. I didn't look for it. Like, it found me. And I think I'm good at trusting my instincts, and I think my instincts are from God. And I don't know, believe or not.
Yeah, so that's interesting because I was thinking about where this conversation was going to take us, actually. And I was wondering if the faith piece would come up, because it hasn't necessarily come up with anybody I've talked to yet, but I know that you're really strong in your faith. And so I thought in my head, I wonder if I should ask her if she feels like that has helped her become a successful business owner. And obviously it has, because you brought it up on your own.
Well, and I think when I was training at the Y, like my second client, Michelle, a week after we started training, she's just like, you're bigger than this place. And I was like, oh gosh, whatever. This is great. $20 an hour. And, you know, like she believed in me. But like, I think God placed her in my life. But I also think God placed me in her life because I just had a conversation tonight with her after she got done working out at the 5 o'clock class. Like, you know, we've been together for like 12 years, Michelle and I have, and I don't think that's by mistake. And my mom has a very strong faith, and so I think she's, through her faith, is, you know, given that to me, and it's made me confident in who I am and how I feel and how I treat others, and how, I mean, you know, you have a strong faith. You're taught in the Bible to love like Jesus loves, and that it's not always easy, and it's a lot of times very hard. It's easy to say, it's hard to do. So I work on that all the time, and I feel like I think about that in a lot of the business decisions that like you and Luke will be like, don't do that in. Because, you know, I think more sometimes with my heart than I do my business mind.
Yeah. So faith is definitely one thing that appears in the way in which you make decisions. It's a driving factor and force in the way that you make decisions for your business. What else would you say in terms of your personality are some of the kind of tools that you think help you be successful?
I'm very honest, but I feel like I'm very ethical. I'm very hard on myself. So I'm always, I feel like going to put my members first and like do what's best for them over what's best for me. I think in the end it's probably best for everybody, but it does. Sometimes it really hurts. Sometimes it's really hard. I have great people around me that I can trust. You know, my family, the people who work at the gym for me, the members, and I feel like I've developed or earned their trust by the choices that I make. I mean, I'm consistent across the board. I feel like this is a job interview, and I'm trying to talk myself up. I don't know, some of my personality traits, like the Enneagram. You know, you told me I should read it before this, and so I was like, I read 2 pages of it. But
good job. Out of the 16?
Yeah, 24.
But how accurate is that? I mean, I know you, so I can be like, oh my gosh. But I think out of anyone that's ever taken it, this is so spot on with you. So tell listeners what your number is, your highest number.
Oh, my highest number is a number 1.
Number 1. Well, it's a tie between a 1 and an 8.
No, 24. I got 24 for the 1 and then 23 for the 8.
Okay, gotcha. So the 1 is the reformer.
Yes.
And says, so I'll read. 1s are generally conscientious, sensible, responsible, idealistic, ethical, serious, self-disciplined, orderly, and feel personally obligated to improve themselves and their world. And I mean, there's so much fitness, without saying fitness, in that, right? Self-disciplined, okay? If you're going to be working on your nutrition and your physical body every day, orderly, you know, you've always been just a clean clean, but like orderly, you know what I mean? Like organized.
Check my boxes.
I know some business owners are just not the hot mess. You know, they're not organized, even the successful ones, but you're very organized. Responsible for sure, ethical for sure. And there's definitely a serious, you know, side to you. Because you take like your job very seriously. You take lighthearted things seriously, if that makes sense, right? Like you take helping people seriously. You take having fun seriously. You take, I don't know. I read that and I was like, oh my goodness, this couldn't be more of an accurate description of Al. And then when we get into like your second highest score was an 8, but then you've got the 3 and the 6 in there too. So you're the reformer, then you're the challenger, which is for sure because you will stand up hardcore for what you believe in, and you'll challenge anyone that basically gets in your way. We know that about you. I think that also helps to make you a successful business owner. You're not going to let anybody really. Yeah. I don't know.
To be determined. Give it a weekend.
Yeah, TBD. Yeah, that's true. You did go on TV and say that CrossFit was a cult, and that gets you.
Still don't deny
it. So for our listeners, very early on, Allison was asked to do a TV interview, and I was so pumped for her. And I probably tried to write a script or something for you. I'm sure I tried. But we know that you're not good, with memorizing scripts because it doesn't feel authentic. Yeah. Well, you just have to be you, and I can totally understand that. You don't fit in the box, and so anyways, long story short, there was a moment there where you did call CrossFit a cult, and
I happened to be really sick that morning, so I sounded like the devil.
Oh, you were sick? I don't remember that part of your story, but yeah, I thought, like I said, the PR person in me thought I was going to, have a heart attack. I'm like, no, you can't say that. And you meant it innocently and in the best sense of the word, if there could be a best sense of the word. But, so yeah, anyways, the challenger, and then a 3 and a 6, the achiever and the loyalist. And I definitely see all of those qualities in you. And I think because you're loyal, people want to follow you. Because you're ethical, people want to follow you. I think if you showed up at the gym and just tried to be a fitness person, that people wouldn't show up. I think because you've shown up and you've just let yourself be all sides of you, the reformer, the challenger, the loyalist, and the achiever, and people see that they're just drawn to that because it's really authentic. And I think some gyms feel colder when people are just there to do a job, and the job is just fitness. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I wouldn't disagree.
Yeah. And then, for a long time, it was just you coaching, and then you brought on Derek, and then you brought on Lexi, and you had some people kind of helping out in between there, and you do get applications from time to time. You're not soliciting for applications or for help, but you do get applications from time to time, and I don't ever see you having to hire somebody in that way. So tell me about what makes your staff so unique and what you look for in a staff member.
Well, we all kind of play our roles, I guess, but we're all very same in the fact that we don't do this for the money, obviously, if you saw what I paid them and what I pay myself. But we just love it. Like, Derek worked for free for a long time for us, just like I basically worked for free and helped out Seth in the beginning. Like, he wasn't able to pay me as much as the Y did. And Derek was the same way. He just wanted to help out. And he loves coaching. He loves weightlifting. He loves strength and conditioning. So he is our strength and conditioning coach that we send up to the high school year round. And he's just very passionate about helping those kids, and that's awesome. And then Lexi, she's a lot like me, where she cares about everybody that walks in the door. She makes friends with everybody that walks in the door. And it's not about the money. It's about, I guess, our payment, or, just being part of people's lives and being a part of someone's day. And it's a lot of times the best part of their day, or the most fun part of their day, because they're hanging out with their friends, but working out at the same time. And we enjoy, I can speak for, Derek doesn't talk a whole lot, but I think I can speak for all of us when I say, like, it's just fun. It's so fun we always are like, oh, so-and-so came in and they tried on their wedding dress and it fit, or so-and-so came in last night, like Lexi coaches in the evening, and we'll work out in the morning together, and she'll come in and she'll be like, oh my gosh, somebody got their first pull-up, or she'll come in and say, yeah, somebody hit a PR, and I don't know, it's just example after example after example, and seeing some of these people who have been there, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years since we started, 6 years, and seeing their journey. And you could probably, like Angela Rose, you've probably followed her journey online just through posting. Like, wow, It's just, I don't know,
total transformation of the whole human, not just the physical transformation, but of the whole self, really.
It's just so cool to see that every day. And I don't know.
I feel like if you said to somebody who's 24, 25, yeah, I worked for free, they'd look at you like you have 3 heads. Like, what do you mean you worked for free? So I teach at a university, and I allow my students the chance to do real assignments, but they're like actually for my clients. So I will maybe give them a creative brief and say, this is your client and it's a real business, and, go create a social media post or a billboard or a magazine ad for them. And if it's good, we'll use it. And, as universities do, they allow the students to critique their professors. And a student last semester said that they should get paid for their homework assignments. So that's kind of the mentality. I can't imagine. I don't know. I feel like we're living in a different time. Who works for free? And
people who don't own their own business.
Yeah, right, for sure. But not only did you work for free, but then you got somebody to do it for you for a little while in Derek. And again, I think people are motivated by different things, right? Some people are motivated by money. They'll work harder for more money. But it sounds like the 3 of you, the money piece is not in the conversation yet. Over time, the money piece has flown, for you. Almost because it's not your sole focus, right? And we've talked about this before, like, the way that you make business decisions often has nothing to do with the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like you said, it's more to do with the heart. Like, what's going to be the most beneficial? What's going to have the largest impact on my members? I mean, I work with a lot of business owners, but I don't think I've worked with any other business owners that make decisions that way. I think that is pretty unique, and maybe you're allowed to, given the size of your business, and your lack of overhead. Like owning the box, there isn't a ton of overhead like there may be with some. You don't have a staff of 300 people, right? So yeah,
I have a staff of 2, and that's my highest overhead right there.
Yeah. Well, I'm on your payroll.
Okay, so you're staff of 3.
Yes. Don't forget about little old me. What example can we use to really give our listeners a taste of how you make decisions for the business? I'm trying to think. In some of my other podcasts, we've talked a lot about how much money you actually have to pour back into the business, like that concept being a surprise to a new business owner or an entrepreneur, kind of them like not realizing half your money, if not more, goes back to the business, not to your bank. So I know that's kind of one thing. Like, you put a lot of time and effort and energy and monetary resources back into the business, and to always having enough equipment, new equipment, and that type of thing. But what else? Do you have anything else in mind?
Well, I don't know. I feel like moms can relate. I feel like I'm like the mom of the gym. So like in decision making, I guess I kind of look at it as like being a mom. The mom takes care, like, mostly, like, we'll do like the the bills or the organizing or the grocery shopping and, you know, all these different like little decisions that like make the whole household work. And I feel like that's how it is for me too. Like I'm constantly making little decisions or little tweaks here and there to make, you know, like supplies more efficient, cost efficient, or where can I get this cheaper? Should I wait to do this? Should we do it this month? I mean, we talk about this even just with like little marketing stuff. Is it worth it to do it yet? Should we wait? And like, you know, thinking ahead, but always, I feel like any decision I make that has to do with the business, I'm thinking about my employees and my members and how it will impact them. And how I'm influencing them. Like if I don't know, like little things, like I use Mrs. Meyer's soap there. Does it cost more? Yes, but it doesn't have any chemicals in it, right? Like that means something to me. And so I use it in my home, so I'm going to use it at the gym. Or like the bars that we sell, I eat the bars. Or the drinks that we sell, I drink the drinks because I think that they're good quality, and I think they'd be good for my members. You know, I'm not just going to throw out cheap stuff that is going to make me money, but I want to make decisions that are best for the majority, not the minority. There's lots of equipment that I would like to get that like the gung-ho crazy CrossFitters like myself and a few other members would love to have, but obviously we have to be more practical in a lot of decisions and get the more boring equipment that we need for the masses.
Totally get that. Now that I'm a mom, I suppose I can relate. And I do think that that's I like how you put that in terms of being the mom of the gym. And speaking of mothers, I know that yours has had a huge impact on you. Talk to me a little bit about Sue Smith.
Oh gosh, she's the best and the worst. Like like the Enneagram thing. I mean, wow. Like on a daily basis, I'm reminded of how annoying I am because of her. No, she's just great. She comes 5 days a week. She's got a story at the gym. She started at 2 days a week, and then she retired and started coming 3 days a week, and then 4, and now she comes 5 days a week. And you know, I get to see my mom every day, which is awesome. She's cool shit. She's a hard worker. My parents are both business owners, so I feel like a lot of my work ethic comes from them because I grew up and that they were smart with their money, and that, you know, like they ran their business like I run my business. I remember they sold books, and they always sold them for way less than other stores would sell them for, and I never understood why. Like Barnes and Nobles has a book for $3 more. Why don't you sell it for more? And they're like, because we don't need to, you know, like because we want to give everybody a fair price, you know, like we want to, you know, we only take what we need type of thing. And I was like, you guys are crazy. Like you could totally be making more money, and like those type of things, obviously, that I thought were crazy. Now I totally understand when I'm like, oh, no, it's fine. You know, like when you and Luke are cringing, and I'm like, it'll be fine. It's fine. Like that was me and my sisters to my parents. Like, gosh, what are you guys thinking? But they just wanted to do the right thing, and they wanted, I don't know, and it worked for them. They're the two happiest humans I know.
I can totally agree with that. So they definitely had a big impact on you. They were business owners, so you kind of had an inside or a backseat view as to what it took. But you're also one of the only people I know that was homeschooled. How do you think that factors in? Well, tell everyone why you were homeschooled. And by the way, like my whole childhood, I begged for my parents to take me out of school and homeschool me.
Well, my sister just gave up in high school halfway through her junior year, and then halfway through her junior year, she started homeschooling. She was just sick of the drama of high school girls and everything. And she homeschooled halfway through her junior year. And then her senior year was when I was in 4th grade. So I finished 3rd grade. And my mom doesn't, like, with her Christian upbringing and her old school ways, didn't love the public school curriculum. So she just asked me if I wanted to be homeschooled, and I was like, I mean, I get to sleep till she would wake me up at like 8 instead of 7. I was like, I get to sleep in and wear my sweatpants. Like, heck yeah, I'm in. Sign me up.
Okay, I had a totally different story in my.
Oh, you tell it then. I don't know. Why was I?
I don't know why I have this story in my head. This is how rumors get started, people. That you used to say that you hated school so much. I thought this was so true. That you hated school so much and you would pretend to be sick. Yeah, and so then your mom was just like, if you're just going to come home from school every day, we'll homeschool you.
No, I don't know if that's why she homeschooled me, and I don't think it was like all the time, but it had to have been obvious to my mom. Like, I just didn't want to be at school because I just didn't like school. I don't know. So, yeah, I guess maybe a mix of the two, but my mom just asked me, and I said sure, and then I was homeschooled from 4th grade through my junior year, and then had some friends.
But that pretty much means you were self-taught, right? I mean, because you didn't have a tutor or a teacher that would come to your house. Because this was before the internet, too, people.
Right.
You know.
Gosh, I had to figure out how to use a computer my senior year of high school. Everybody else knew how to, and I just was like, oh, yeah, I totally know what I'm doing. No, I didn't. So there's another time that you had to fake it till you made it. I do it all the time. This is one of my life mottos. Well, my mom has a teaching degree. She was a music teacher, but then my dad took over his dad's business, so then she just stopped teaching and, like, started working with him. But basically I feel like homeschooling is a lot like college. Like, she would write me out my checklist. That's why I like to check off the boxes. You know, like in each subject, she'd be like, you have to read this, do this, and then you have to do these questions, or you have to, then I would have to do whatever she wanted me to do. I would do it, and then she would go through it, and then if there were corrections or anything that needed to be made, or if I didn't understand something, she worked from home because their business was through their house. So, like, I would just sit on my own, and then, like, if I had problems with anything, I would just go into the next room and ask her to help me. But I definitely think homeschooling is so much harder because you don't have, especially if you're like me and you're competitive, like, you don't have anybody to compare to. So it doesn't matter if you do good or bad because nobody sees it but your mom, So I felt like when I went to school, it was so much easier because I had others in the room with me that were, had the same assignment, and I wanted to, wanted to do good. And so instead of just doing good and not having anything to compare it to, like, I guess school was just way easier because, I don't know, I had somebody else besides my mother telling me what to do.
And I had that peers around you, that challenger. You're like, I'm going to challenge everybody in this room and do better than them.
Yeah.
You're very competitive, I think is.
Yeah. But I'm very competitive. Like, now in my old age, I'm very competitive with myself, and I'm, like, reading the Enneagram. Like, I am very hard on myself. I'm probably harder on myself than anybody else, and, like, it's good. It's a good thing, but it also gets me into trouble, stresses me out.
Yes. Tell me paint the picture of a day in the life of Allison Short, owner of CrossFit Chippewa Falls.
So boring. I love it, but it's really boring. Well, Monday through Friday, my alarm goes off at 4 a.m., and then I get up and brush my teeth and take off my pajamas and almost put on more pajamas, more sweatpants to go to work, and then go downstairs and pick up the kitchen, put the dishes away, make my celery juice, and then feed Murph, let her out, and then Murph is my dog, and then we go to the gym. I usually get to the gym between like 4:40 and 4:50 every morning. I coach the 5 a.m. class and the 6 a.m. class, and then from like 7 to 9, I sit at the computer and answer emails and go through stuff I need to go through or whatever you make me do. Take care of business stuff, and then I coach the 9 a.m. class. And then at 10 a.m., I try and work out between 10 and noon, somewhere in there, depending on if I'm done with my work, or if I'm not done with my work, I do more work, and then try and get a workout in. Right now, Derek is coaching the noon class this summer for me, but usually I coach the noon class. And then, but during the school year, I usually coach the noon class, and then Derek relieves me. Derek's usually at the gym in the afternoon. So sometimes I leave right after the noon class. In the summer, my schedule is different, but usually at least 2 to 3 days a week. Sorry. I go back to the gym in the evenings. Some weeks it's more, some weeks it's less, but I'd say probably at least 2 days a week I'm back at the gym in the evenings, just getting stuff done or bringing kids down or help doing something. Usually not coaching. And then I come home and try and switch out a load of laundry and either make dinner, or if Luke's made dinner, I eat dinner. And then during the school year, it's like kind of check off homework stuff and get Cass ready for bed, and then try and get to bed by 8 if I'm lucky. And do that again.
I love that 8 p.m. bedtime, but man, when you're getting up at 4 a.m., I'd be in bed by probably 4 p.m.
Yeah, so usually in the afternoons I have a few hours off, and those few hours normally consist of
cleaning.
Yeah, house chores, usually house chores. But in the summer, I coach a little bit less, so my coaching hours are more condensed in the morning. So if it's sunny out, usually I try and get some vitamin D for a few hours, and then I'm back at work or back at working at home. So
it's a long day, though.
Pretty fabulous.
I think what people don't realize is how much like mental energy you expend teaching a fitness class. Like, I know there's times where I've taught yoga and I'm just like, wiped out. Like, my limit is probably 2 yoga classes a day. I know me personally, if I try to teach 3 classes a day, my brain is just like, I can't do it. And it sounds like it might be just so, just numb work. Like, just, what do you mean? Just go in there and talk. Just go in there and tell people what to do. But I guess if you're just not that passionate about it, maybe it's that simple. But when you're really passionate about something and you're putting your whole heart into it, it's really exhausting.
Yeah, I think so. But we're biased, I guess. I think I listened to a podcast or read an article or both saying something like 1 hour of coaching is like 3 hours of work at a desk job. So I guess if that's the case, well, dang, I work 12-hour or basically probably 16-hour days, because I usually sit at the computer for a couple hours, and I feel like my phone is blowing up nonstop, pretty much 24/7, and it's it's like just people from the gym texting, messaging, asking questions. Sometimes it's gym related, sometimes it's just we're friends.
Hey, members, if you're listening to this, email Allison at Allison at CrossFitChippewa.com. Please send her an email.
But it's also we're friends. I have I have 200 friends. It's a lot to keep up with.
God, I have 2. I'm very jealous. You're one of them, by the way.
You're one of them that text me on a daily basis.
This is true. Or call you 5 times in a row like I did earlier today. I'm like, Allison's going to kill me.
I was trying to read my text messages to the reporter, to Luke, too, during that whole thing. So I was reading it hello. And then I'd read a couple more, hello. Hello.
Oh, yeah, that's a bad thing to interrupt, because that was an intense text. I have a quote written out, and I have your name in all caps, so I must be shouting. But I have your name in all caps next. Nope.
Okay, good.
I don't think so. But it says there's so much silent work that you will have to put in that no one will ever know about. Do it without applause or recognition and keep going. And I just have that. I have that quote, and I have Allison in all capital letters next to that quote because I feel like, yeah, that sums you up. And I'm like at a loss for examples this evening. But if you could think of an example of something you've done that I don't know, that it's just there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears behind the scenes that people don't know. But even like, okay, here's an example. You want to put together a challenge for your members because it's fun, it's community oriented, it keeps everybody engaged, it keeps everybody talking, and obviously it improves their health and their wellness overall. So all these sorts of, but there's so much that goes into it, and oftentimes that may mean another hour of work, 2 hours of work, 3 hours of work for you. And you don't have to do it, and you don't make money off of it, but you do it anyways. And everybody loves it, and everybody appreciates it, and everybody's grateful for it, right?
Yeah.
And I want to talk about, like, I don't know, I just feel like I don't know any good examples, but you're always like, well, yeah, that sucks for me, but I'm just going to do it anyways because I know this person will love it. There's a statistic that says most like gyms, like big fitness facilities, like a Export or I can't even think of the name of any right now, but
LA Fitness.
LA Fitness. Thank you. Yeah. That they make the majority of their money off of memberships of people that don't come. Because there's a type of membership where it's like it's an auto pay, it's $20 a month. People don't even pay attention to their credit card bill. They just get it, pay it. If they're not going to the gym, that $20, it may or may not matter depending on their current economic status, But that's not CrossFit Chippewa Falls. You're the gym owner that if someone stops coming, you cut their membership. You don't even ask them. you just
if I
it.
notice it. I mean, I'm trying to get better at that. But
you show up at people's doors.
Yeah,
right? Like you've shown up.
Or I text them.
You text them?
Yeah, I text them, or I snap them, or I send them a video of my butt, or something. There's been some butt track involved in pictures. And
this is someone you know well, or just a member that came for a month and doesn't.
Just a member that came for a couple days. No, it's members that have been there for a while or having a hard time, or I don't know. But yeah, I've texted, I've stopped by, I don't know. I don't know why I do it, but I do. Like, I think about my members all the time. So I try and. If I think of one, I try and, if I'm not driving or coaching, like I'll try and shoot them a text. Because, again, there's like God telling me, like, hey, why am I thinking about this member? I must be thinking about them for a reason. Maybe they're feeling down. Maybe they need to be lifted up. Maybe they just need to know somebody's thinking about them. So I'll do that. Or even if it's a non-member, I kind of I do that too. But I don't know. I mean, they're important to me.
Tell me about some of the events that you do year after year.
We have like 4? Okay, so Christmas party, and that's usually the first weekend of January, and it's a Christmas party where we all get blitzed. One of the coaches that helps me during the summer happens to own a bar downtown. So I make it my mission to drink once a year very heavily and have so much fun and make sure that everybody else has so much fun as well. So that's the first, if we're going chronologically.
Okay, but let's pause right there. So here are the behind-the-scenes details of the Christmas party. First of all, we put in a lot of hours of conversation of what we can do every year to make it like different, which we haven't really done anything of lately. But like, remember we wanted to, Derek, I hope you're listening. We wanted to make a cutout of Derek and play like pin the
Barbell
on a Derek or something. Yeah. Oh man. Poor Derek. Always the subject of the joke. But yeah, so the Christmas party it's not like your regular office Christmas party, and probably not like your gym is throwing a Christmas party. Come in and have refreshments after a workout. This is a highly orchestrated, well-organized shit show in which
karaoke,
you pick up the entire tab. You pick up the entire bar tab for the night for your members.
CrossFitters can drink.
Hire, what was that?
I said CrossFitters can drink.
Yeah, and that's yeah. Well, Wisconsinites can drink. But you hire designated drivers so that everybody can get home safe. And yeah, and you rent out the whole bar. It's like you guys have the whole bar for the night, right? Other people are probably scared to come in. They probably walk by and they're like, what is going on in there?
We do it the slowest weekend of the year, the weekend after New Year's Eve. So
gotcha.
We don't have to shut the bar down. Some regulars come in, but it's usually not real busy in there. So when they see all of us in there, they tend to just walk to the next one, unless they're hardcore regulars. But yeah, there's usually about 70 to 100 people that show up, which is so cool. Everybody brings a little snack to put on the pool table in the back, so everybody's fed. We make a pretty cool kick-ass playlist. We've had karaoke in the past, or sometimes I'm just given a microphone halfway through the night, and we always make it to bar close. So that's fun. But that's
and didn't you start getting tattoos now every year at the Christmas party, or is that made up in my mind too?
Yeah. Well,
because you're suddenly full of tattoos. I don't see you for a few months, and then I'm like, oh, where'd that come from?
I think I got my first one. Yeah, we did, a couple of us just went out, I think, the day of the Christmas party and got one.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. It wasn't a drunk decision. Gotcha.
No. Yeah, so that's the first activity. And then we have Murph. It's just a fundraiser that we do. We do a workout and we raise money for called the Michael Murphy Foundation, and that goes to a scholarship. It's a scholarship foundation, and on behalf of Michael Murphy, who was killed. The story is the story of a lone survivor. If you've ever seen that movie, Mark Wahlberg. But yeah, so it goes to his foundation. So that's Memorial Day. Then in August, our town has Pure Water Days. So there's a big parade. We do the parade, and then that same weekend, we usually try and do our anniversary picnic. So we've done different things in the past. Like we've gone to the park and gotten it catered. We've gone to the distillery and gotten it catered. Haven't decided what we're going to do this year because the parade's canceled. But we'll probably still do some sort of get-together. And then we also do, on Labor Day, we do another workout, and that's in honor of Hot Shots 19.
Hot Shots.
Yeah, and that's, what is the movie? There's a movie for that one, too, Only the Brave. I believe that's what it's called. It was just on the other night. And that, we raise money for there's the firefighters killed in Yarnell, Arizona in, oh gosh, no, I don't even remember, 2013, 14? And the money goes to their families. And
the gym typically matches the donation, right? So your members come together and they donate, and then you donate.
No, that's for the stocking. So for Murph and for Hot Shots, we buy T-shirts. So we spend like $400 on T-shirts, and then we give away. Well, if people donate $20 or more, then they get a T-shirt. So basically then their donation is like 100% of their donation goes to the foundation. And then we do the stacking game. So it's just a little fun thing that we do in December. We kind of peg each class time against each other to see which class can raise the most amount of money. And we do different things every year. I mean, we usually pick a charity 1 year, and then that's where CrossFit Chippewa matches the donation.
Gotcha.
So we've done like Boys and Girls Club, Veterans Home, the local Veterans Home.
Humane Society, I think, right?
Yeah, Humane Society was this year, right? The Humane Society this year.
I think it was last year. This year we used the money to
no, that was last year.
Help out members.
Yep.
Oh,
to help members. So that was last year. This year was Humane. Last year was just helping out members that like just have tough times or whatever, and then that supplements their membership for a few months. Am I missing anything? You're the one that created all this stuff.
No.
The flyers and all the newsletters.
Yeah. Talk to me about the parade, because I know, so you guys always make a pretty big splash at the parade. What are some of the things that you've done to just get creative and stand out?
Oh gosh, we flipped a tire down Main Street. We pulled a truck with ropes. We had 2 teams competing against each other doing a workout. The first year we made the mistake of a few of us. The first year did handstand walks, and it's like always 1,000 degrees out during this, and we didn't know, because I think somebody from the side was like, "Show us your handstand walk." So of course I'm like, "All right, watch this." So we did handstand walks, because in CrossFit, that's a lot of competitions. You have to do handstand walks. There are a lot of workouts you have to do handstand walks. So that's one thing that we do in CrossFit. So we did it, and I just had the worst. My hands were just eaten up from walking and blistering because the pavement was so hot. But everybody was like, "Whoa, do it again!" Of course, I was very pleased. So that was the first year, and Holly, one of our longtime members, she saw us that year, and she was not a member, but she was like, "I want to do that someday." And then she became a member, and to this day, she's still a member. And every year, I'm like, "I'm not walking on my hands this year," because you walk 6 blocks on your hands. Your shoulders are sore for days. And every year, they're like, Holly always says, "That's all I remembered from the first year." And it's kind of just become a thing. But it's kind of cool because each year, more and more people, it's not just me and Becky. It's there was 3 or 4 of us the first year. Then there's 4 or 5 of us the second year. And now there's 10 of us that can do it. So every year more and more people.
Pretty soon no one will be walking on their feet in the parade. Everyone's going to be upside down.
Yep. So, and then this year it was this last year was the river theme. So we carried logs. And some of the members did thrusters and shoulder to overhead, all these CrossFit moves.
They were huge logs too.
Yeah, doing with the logs.
For our listeners, we have pictures of all of the shenanigans, so you can need a visual. I'm sure we have them on Facebook, Instagram. So what I'm getting is that you created a really fun place to hang out. I think you created a community and the type of culture that people just want to be a part of. And you treat your members not like members, not like a number, but like a person, like they are. Like a family member.
I hope they feel that way.
Do you have any
non-humans?
Well, you have some dogs that run amok. I guess they're not human, but yeah, so you treat people really extremely well. There's less of a business owner-customer relationship between you,
right.
would you say? And more of a You're one giant BFF.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Anything else you think that has attributed to your recipe for success?
I mean, I would think we covered a lot of it. I just think that the people around me are huge. You know, members, family, employees. You know, but we all make it work together. Dogs included.
The dogs included, yes. Let's finish on that happy note. Tell the listeners about the dogs.
Well, it started with our first dog. She was a boxer. Her name was Mosby. And everybody, I mean, she's just the best dog ever. But everybody that would come into the gym, you know, just loved her. Even people that didn't love dogs, Becky, ended up loving her. And now Becky, who is Derek's wife, has a dog because of Mose. And then R.I.P. Mose, we had to put her down. But before we put her down, we got 2 more boxer puppies. They're sisters. And we took one, and Becky and Derek took the other. And that was a fun thing that we did with the gym. The gym named the dogs. We did a poll.
That's right.
Yeah, and we had like 5 different pairs of CrossFit names. It was like Nano and Metcon, like Sandbag and Slam Ball.
I'm really glad people didn't pick Sandbag and Slam Ball.
Me too. Fran and Grace.
That's cute.
Badger and Murph won. So we have Murph, and then Becky and Derek have Badger. And then we actually kind of adopted another one. We just knew somebody who their family was growing. They just couldn't have a dog. They didn't feel right because it would be in a crate all day, and they both worked. And luckily enough, it happened to be another boxer. So I said, we'll take it, and I'll just surprise Lexi with it. So
I didn't know that.
Well, like we had heard that he needed a home, and that Lexi had a dog at the time, and she's like, I really don't need a dog, but I mean, I'd take him. But then somebody ended up taking him, but it fell through, so she didn't. And then after that fell through, then I was like, yep, we'll take him. And then Lexi showed up at the gym, and I was like, hey, guess what? Here's your new dog. So we have 3 boxers at the gym. And
what's Lexi's dog's name?
Vellner. So
Vellner.
Yeah, he is named after a CrossFit athlete that has come in as high as 2nd at the CrossFit Games. Little ginger Canadian that we love. His name is Pat Vellner.
Got it.
Okay. To this.
Yeah.
I'll tag him.
Yeah. He'll be super thrilled to know he has a dog named after him.
I think he actually knows, because I feel like he has put something on his Instagram or something. I don't know.
All right. This is old news, people. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, you're such a tight-knit community that you allow your members to name your family pet. Like that's trust right there, for sure. All right, if you're ever visiting Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, you can how can people find you?
16 Taylor Street, or on the web at CrossFitChippewaFalls.com, or on Facebook, and I don't even know our Instagram handle.
So they're all the same because some genius marketer made it really simple for people. They're all at CrossFit Chippewa Falls, and I'll put it in the notes for the episode as well. And if you live in Chippewa Falls and you haven't checked out CrossFit Chippewa Falls, then I'm confident that this podcast will make you want to.
Yeah, there's no reason to be intimidated after this time.
None. That's absolutely none. Allison, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate this. This was, yeah, thanks. I had to beg you, but
you know how much I love to hear my voice.
Oh gosh, tell me about it. I don't even know why I started a podcast. I cringe every time I open my mouth. But anyways, back to you. Thank you so much for your time tonight, and I wish you all the best of luck.
Talk to you tomorrow.
Exactly. All right, listeners, remember that you can enter to win a free coffee. All you need to do is subscribe, like, follow the podcast, screenshot showing that you have done that, tag at Vera Creative and 2 friends. Every week we give away a free coffee. Please enter, help this small business, help this endeavor keep going. We appreciate you. Thanks for listening.